Welcome to part one of a two-part series of stretches for cyclists. Today's video is going to be a few stretches that you take while standing. You'll need either a sturdy chair that doesn't slide or a wall. And part two, which will be a separate video, are going to be stretches that you take down on the ground. So today I've got some stretches for you if you're an avid cyclist that you take while standing. First one is going to be down dog at the wall or at a chair. If you're familiar with down dog, you can certainly take it down on the ground as well. But here we have it with a chair. You stand a few feet behind your chair. See what feels comfortable for you. As you hold on to either the top of the chair, maybe the seat of the chair, hinge forward at your hips. I'm hoping you feel a nice stretch on the backs of your legs. You can step further back. Just let your head be heavy here though. And then if you wanted to come all the way down to the ground, this of course is downward facing dog from the ground. I encourage you to get in a position where your heels are actually lifted, and then you can press down towards the ground with those heels to get a nice stretch for the calves. Breathe here. Staying here as long as you'd like. Maybe you even give your head a little shake to release some tension from your neck. And then when you're ready, you're going to make your way back up to standing. From whichever position you are in, you can take that nice and slowly. You're at the chair. And then come up to standing. Second is going to be a calf stretch at the chair, or again, it can be taken at the wall. You're going to come into a lunge position. I'm going to start with the lunge in the right leg and take my left leg back. And really press firmly into that right heel as you press back through the left heel until you feel a stretch in your calf muscles. Maybe 3 or 4 breaths here before you step forward and take the opposite leg back. See if you can get all of your toes on the ground so you have a nice neutral pelvis here. Again, you can press actively into the left heel if you'd like. That's for a little bit of quad strength, although you got a lot of that with your bicycle ride today. And then press through your lifted right heel and breathe. And you can repeat that on both sides as often as you'd like. One more standing stretch. This is going to be a straddle forward fold. No props needed unless you want to bring the ground a little bit closer. In that case, maybe have some blankets or books or yoga blocks nearby in front of you. So from a standing position, we're going to take our feet nice and wide. And we're going to turn the toes in towards one another a little bit. Purpose of that is to give lots of space for your low back. Take a nice breath in, grow nice and tall, and as you breathe out, fold forward. Again, hinging at your hips just like we did in downward facing dog. And then either bring your hands to the ground or to some support underneath your hands. I do want you to feel grounded, so connected with your hands. You might experiment with spreading your feet wider or bringing them closer together. And then shift your weight back and forth a little bit. See how it changes the sensation on the backs of your legs, maybe even the inner thighs. Take a few breaths right here. If you want to get fancy, you can stay here and add a little twist, bringing your right hand right below your head. And then maybe you open your left arm out to the side, out to the left. See how that feels in the inner right leg. And then you could bring that left hand down where the right hand was and lift your right arm up. Feel that stretch in the inner left leg, or maybe you feel it somewhere else. or you can just remain in your straddle forward fold. If you notice you've shifted back towards your heels to take the sensation out, maybe that's what your body needs, or maybe you need to shift more towards your toes. And notice what that does for the stretch. On your next breath in, come up halfway, so hands to hips. Just have a nice long spine here. Imagine you could grow out through the crown of your head and breathe. Breathe in. And as you breathe out, come up to standing in one movement. And then you can toe heel those feet back together. That concludes the standing portion of cycling stretches. Stay tuned for part 2, where we're going to come down to the ground.